Hi, my dear residents. I am presenting a third video of my series of a clinical discussion in surgery. In this video, I am discussing the diagnosis, investigations, pathology of a case of a breast swelling. I have kept it with an up-to-date knowledge required for the residents and to understand the concepts of the surgery. So, here we go. What is the diagnosis of your case?
Carcinoma breast, stage T2, N1, M0, stage 2.
What are the findings suggestive of a carcinoma breast?
Patient is 50-year-old, swelling is hard in consistency, puckering of skin is present, fixed to pectoral fascia and muscle, lymph nodes are palpable.
How do you arrive at staging?
Tumor size is 5 cm, 3 lymph nodes are enlarged, freely mobile, no distant metastasis, so it is T2, N1, M0, stage 2.
What is the correct method of measuring a tumor size?
Radiological investigations gives accurate size of the tumor.
How do you assess the lymph nodes?
By ultrasound examination.
How do you confirm the diagnosis and staging?
By core true cut biopsy, diagnosis can be confirmed. Staging will be confirmed after ultrasound axilla, chest X-ray or CT chest, ultrasound abdomen and CT abdomen, bone scan. If necessary, CT scan of brain will confirm the staging.
What is the role of a PET scan?
I don't know.
PET scan combined with a CT scan is helpful in detecting metastasis and effect of treatment and also in recurrence status. What is the core biopsy? How it is done?
Core of tissue taken with core biopsy needed.
Yeah, a core of a tissue taken using a core biopsy 14 gauge needle. It is done under local anesthesia, giving a 0.5 centimeters incision, one by either by palpation of the swelling or by a serostactic technique using a mammogram in calcifications, or a 3 under ultrasound guidance for a small swelling. Minimum 3 cores of a tissue to be taken. What are the advantages of a core biopsy?
In core biopsy, tissue taken for histopathological examination. In FNAC, it is cytological examination.
Yeah, there are different advantages and differences are there. So core biopsy is an histological examination and in FNAC it is a cytological examination. In core biopsy, it can differentiate invasive form in situ and invasive form from the in situ disease. Whereas in FNAC, it cannot differentiate between the invasive and in situ disease. Grading can be made out in a core biopsy. Grading cannot be made out in case of a FNAC. It is in a core biopsy, histological type of a cancer can be made out. In FNAC, histology cannot be made out. In core biopsy, receptor status can be assessed. In FNAC, receptor status cannot be assessed. Core biopsy is a high sensitivity when image guided. In FNAC, sensitivity is not that high as a core biopsy. It is a high sensitivity in microcalcifications in core biopsy, whereas FNAC it is not so. What are the indications for FNAC in carcinoma breast?
In cases of cystic swellings, to aspirate fluid for cytological examination. For suspected metastasis in axillary lymph nodes.
Right. It is mainly to aspirate the fluid from the cystic swellings and also to know whether that contains any malignant cells. And also in a suspected metastasis in axillary lymph nodes, FNACB can be done either directly or under the guidance of a ultrasonography. What other biopsies are done in breast diseases?
In Paget's disease of nipple.
Yeah, punch biopsy will be done in Paget's disease of nipple. Excisional biopsy in a benign lesion after core biopsy and imaging has proved. Insertional biopsy in inflammatory carcinoma after inconclusive core biopsy. A sentinel lymph node biopsy is done in invasive carcinoma after node negative after ultrasonography. What is the triple assessment in breast swelling?
This is a combination of clinical examination, imaging, that is ultrasound, mammography and MRI, and core biopsy and FNAC.
Yes, it is a clinical examination or radiological examination such as a mammography or MRI or ultrasound examination, either one of it, and a core biopsy or FNABC is considered to be as a triple assessment in breast swelling. Is it necessary to do triple assessment in every case?
I don't know.
It is not necessary in every case, but it is necessary in the following cases where breast conservative surgery is planned and presenting a regularly with asymmetry nodularity, presenting with asymmetric nodularity of the breast tissue. Patient presenting with a vague and ill-defined mass, that is in fibroadenosis with a positive family history. Presence of a nipple discharge. In clinical examination, imaging and cytology of the discharge has been done, but the thing is imaging is required in the presence of a nipple discharge. So these are all the four conditions where you can do the triple assessment. What are the limitations of a mammography?
Not useful in young women.
Yes, it is not useful in below the age of a 40 years. It is not useful in a dense fibrotic breast, that is a 10 to 15% of a carcinoma not seen in a dense breast of a woman. Regular mammography is a painful procedure, that is one of the limitations. What are the advantages of a digital mammography?
I don't know.
The pictures are taken on the computer, so they can read in various angles and depths. Images, contrast and brightness can be adjusted, especially in dense breasts. It is faster to report. Pictures can be transmitted online, less radiation, less painful, and images can be stored and retrieved very easily. What is the screening mammography? What are its advantages?
It is a screening done in women above 50 years.
Yes, it is done to screen the persons above the age of 50 years once in every 3 years in UK to detect the breast carcinomas in early phases. It can be done in other countries also. 20% reduction in mortality who were invited for the screening. So there is a reduction in the mortality who were invited for the screening procedure among those. In some cases, prevention of chemotherapy can be done if detected early in these cases. What are the findings seen on mammography?
Can see mass and calcifications. Can visualize a mass or areas of increased density, areas of distortion and calcification.
Yes, these are the things which will be noted. In a mammography, you can see the mass, you can see the calcifications, you can see some distortion of the breast. So, these are the increased density also can be made out. What is Birad's classification?
I don't know.
Birad's is the breast imaging, reporting and data system. Is a risk assessment and a quality assurance tool developed by a American College of Radiology. It provides a widely accepted lexicon and a reporting schema for imaging of the breast diseases applicable to mammography, ultrasound and a MRI of the breast. So, Birad's classification is applicable when ultrasound or MRI or mammography is done. This, according to this classification, we can divide the breast diseases. So, a classification, Birad's classification is a breast imaging studies are assigned one of the 7 assessment categories. Birad's 0, that is a specimen, it is a incomplete picturization. Beard's 1, it is a negative. The breasts are symmetrical, there are no masses are seen, no architectural distortion is seen, or no suspicious calcifications are seen. Beard's 2, benign, definitely benign. There are zero probability of a malignancy. Beard's 3, probably benign. So here it is less than 2% probability of a malignancy. Beard's 4, suspicious for the malignancy. 2 to 94% probability of a malignancy is there. Biopsy should be considered. Beard's 5, highly suggestive of a malignancy. That is a more than 95% probability of malignancy and appropriate action should be taken. Beard's 6, known biopsy proven malignancy case. What are the findings of a carcinoma breast on mammography?
Microcalcifications and irregular tumor.
Yeah, carcinoma breast appears as a irregular dense opacity with a specules pass into the surrounding tissue. That is one of the main findings. Microcalcifications are seen within or outside the lesion. Skin infiltration or skin thickening can be seen. Distortion of the shape of the breast and or skin also noted. Underlying muscle involvement can be seen as a tenting. Sometimes axillary lymph nodes also can be seen. What are the benign swellings findings on mammography?
Swelling with smooth surface and regular margins. Patchy calcification may be noted on the swelling. No skin tethering or adherence to muscle.
Yes. So these are the findings of a benign swelling on a mammography. How do you screen in a high risk young woman?
Mammography is not useful due to dense breasts. So in young women, ultrasonography of breast is to be done. MRI is better than ultrasound breast.
Yes. In a young woman, it is a ultrasonography, or in a high risk woman, it is a MRI is the best choice for the exam screening of the breast. What are the findings detected by ultrasonography of the breast?
Cystic and solid swellings.
Ultrasound can differentiate between the cystic and solid swelling. So that's why the first thing one can make it out as a cystic or solid swelling. And with the ultrasound, enlarged axillary lymph nodes can be made out, and the cortex of the lymph nodes is thickened in metastasis. Not only enlarged lymph nodes, a cortex of lymph nodes also can be made out, that is thickened in the metastasis. FNAC or a core biopsy can be done under ultrasound guidance of in cases of axillary metastasis. It appears with the swelling appears with irregular edges and hypoechoic due to high cellularity compared to the adjacent tissue. So that is how the presentation of the swelling in case of ultrasonography. It appears to be irregular with irregular edges and hypoechoic lesion due to high cellularity and compared to the adjacent tissue. What are the indications for the MRI breast?
Young women with BRCA1 and BRCA2.
Yes, a high risk young woman with BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene mutation. The young woman with swelling not visualized by other imaging modalities due to dense breasts. A patient with metastatic axillary lymph nodes but no primary seen by other imaging modalities. And 4. To assess the chemotherapy and hormone therapy. To assess the breast implants for a leakage and a rupture of it. To assess before breast conservative surgery in a dense breast whether it is a multifocal disease, that means multifocal means it is confined to one quadrant of the one quadrant nature, or a multicentric disease, that means other quadrants are also involved. So to assess whether before doing a breast conservation surgery whether this disease is confined to one quadrant where it can be done. Suppose if it has been widely spread out to other quadrants, the breast conservative surgery cannot be done. For that purposes, one may have to do a MRI breast before planning for the breast conservative surgery. What are the advantages of a MRI breast over other imaging apart from the indications?
I don't know.
It is highly sensitive. See, the indications which young people which we have told, dense breast we have told, and high risk young people also we have told. But the thing is, it is highly sensitive when compared with the other investigative modality. Even compared with the mammogram or with the ultrasonogram, it is highly sensitive. The extent of a disease can be made out. That is even both invasive and non-invasive varieties, whether it is a that is a number one. So we can make it out whether it is invasive or non-invasive with the MRI, and also we can make it out whether it is a multicentric disease or a multifocal disease. What information is required from pathological report of a core biopsy of the breast swelling?
Whether it is benign or malignant.
Yeah, the information what we require, first of all, whether is it a benign or malignant, that is number one. Suppose if it is a malignant, is it a non-invasive or invasive? Then if it is a invasive, what type of a pathological type of a cancer it is? Then if it is a what type of a carcinoma grade also? So these are all the information we require from the core biopsy report. What is the importance of a FNAC axillary lymph nodes?
Patient requires axillary clearance if FNAC is positive for metastasis.
Right. So when there is a FNAC positive for the metastasis, definitely that patient requires a axillary clearance. What is the origin of the carcinoma of the breast?
It is from the epithelial cells of terminal duct lobular unit.
Yes, you are right. It is arising from the epithelial cells of a terminal duct lobular unit. What are the differences between the invasive and non-invasive varieties of a carcinoma?
I don't know.
Non-invasive carcinomas, that is, they do not spread beyond the basement membrane of the duct or a lobule. So it is confined to beneath the basement membrane. Beyond of the basement membrane, it will not spread. The prognosis is naturally better. Whereas invasive variety, it has spreaded into the surrounding tissue beyond of the basement membrane. Prognosis is worse than the non-invasive type. What are the mammographic features of a invasive and non-invasive carcinomas of the breast?
I don't know.
85% of the non-invasive carcinomas are detected by microcalcifications on the mammography. Whereas in invasive carcinomas, the skin infiltration thickening can be seen, distortion of the shape of the breast can be seen, underlying muscle involvement can be seen as a tenting. Sometimes axillary lymph nodes also can be noted down. What are the different pathological varieties of the carcinomas of breast?
Tubular, medullary.
Yeah, but these different varieties are noticed in invasive carcinomas. They are tubular, cribriform, mucinous varieties are all well differentiated and they have better prognosis. The medullary variety carry a poor prognosis and is seen in a BRCA1 mutant gene patients. What are the histological grading of a carcinoma of breast and what is the significance?
I don't know.
Here we divide into three grades. The grade 1 is a well differentiated, have a better prognosis. Grade 2 is a moderately differentiated, have a intermediate prognosis. Grade 3 is a poorly differentiated, carry poor prognosis. And what is the sentinel lymph node? How is the sentinel lymph node biopsy is done? What is its importance?
Sentinel lymph nodes are the first nodes to be involved in draining the lesion.
You are right. Sentinel lymph nodes are the first lymph nodes are to be involved and usually they are two or more. and which drains that lesion area. By injecting a blue dye or a radioisotope or both into the skin over the swelling or around the swelling or under the nipple, we can make out exactly the lymph nodes draining the area. The sentinel lymph node is identified by bluish discoloration or a scintigraphy with a handheld gamma probe. Lymph nodes are removed and sent for the frozen section biopsy if we are planning the surgery on the breast at the same time. If we are planning at a different time, this can be just sent to the histopathological report. Once histopathological report has been come, we can plan in a proper way. Otherwise, with the frozen section biopsy report, we may have to further act whether that axillary clearance is required or not along with the surgery on the breast. If less than 2 millimeter metastasis is found in a single node, there is no further treatment required. If the metastasis is more than 2 millimeters or more than 2 lymph nodes are involved, axillary clearance is required. What are the precautions taken while sending the tissue for receptor status? How do you read the report?
I don't know.
Tissues to be fixed in 10% neutral formaldehyde and sent immediately, as the fixation should not be more than 72 hours after biopsy. First, ER status and HER2 receptor status will be assessed. The HER2 receptor status usually reported between 10 to 14 days. It takes longer time. Whereas ER status will be depends upon the laboratory, between 2 to 3 days it can be reported. The report should mention whether ER positive or not first of all, then what percentage of the cells positive, that is more important for our treatment effective. What is the importance of a PR status?
I don't know.
PR is a, that is a progesterone receptors is a prognostic biomarker. PR is a prognostic biomarker. It is related to hormonal treatment failure or recurrences. ER positive and PR negative status associated with a more proliferation and a aggressive disease, recurrences and a poorer prognosis. Disease-free interval is a decreased. ER positive and PR positive associated with a more favorable prognosis. So, it is a PR positiveness gives a more favorable prognosis. So, knowing about the PR status will be knowing about the prognosis of the person, disease in that person. What is the importance of a HER2 receptor status?
I don't know.
When HER2 receptors is positive and is associated with a single hormone receptor such as a ER positive and PR negative or a ER negative and PR positive, that means only when HER2 receptor is positive associated with a single hormone receptor has a prognosis better than the HER2 negative with a single hormone receptor. So, HER2 positive is having a better effect when it is associated with a single hormone receptor status. What is scintigraphy of the breast?
I don't know.
It is a non-invasive procedure done in patients with indeterminate, doubtful swellings on a mammography using a 99M technetium, siesta amoeba or other radioactive tracer material. What are the indication?
I don't know.
Doubtful microcalcification and parenchymal distortion on a mammography. In the presence of a scar tissue following surgery, it helps in a multicentric and a multifocal diseases. So with this, today I am stopping the video series, third video, and the next video will have a discussion on the management aspect. This management discussion maybe within I think it may take about 2 videos, but I will carry it on. First video and second video regarding the management aspect, one after another will be released. So up to this is there. So all the best. Thank you.